Good morning to you all, and good morning to all of the Mangalashiri Bhuti Sangha in the West, and all of the other people who are joined in through this medium. You have my warmest tashidele for this new year of the 2023. And Happy New Year to you all. And may you all have a great year of health, as well as also prosperity, peace, and immense progress on your spiritual path, overcoming many of the countless of lifetimes what we as an ascension what we have formed as an habits of an unhealthy kind that holds us back in samsara. What we intend to overcome, may you are able to overcome them. And thus, the enlightened nature that is always ever present be shining more vigorously and strongly in your own mind streams, and its qualities also to be radiantly present, and thus bring the sense of deep liberation that we all seek to be more ever so present in our experience, as well as also thus then we are able to help others who are in contact with us, who have some reliance on us, as well as also who we hold them in our minds, in our prayers, to be also greatly benefited by our progress on the spiritual path of developing ourselves into much further and further as an enlightened beings through this path of the great Bodhisattva's way of life. I knew that I was going to speak on the New Year. Usually Dungsela does address the Sangha on the New Year, and because he's busy with his transmission of the words of my perfect teacher in the Nindut retreat, I said I will do the link to cover him. So I was thinking this morning what I would want for the world, outside of for ourselves as a practitioner, just what I have mentioned what I want for the world also is deep sense of peace and prosperity and harmony. In order to sort of wish for the world to have a deep peace, right now, when we look at the world, some parts, in the parts where we are, we have some, relatively speaking, peace. But in many of the parts of the world, there is no peace. So I really wish that we could all extend our deep sympathy for all of those who are war-torn countries, where there's a lot of violence, where there's a lot of emanations of a mass destructive nature, such as bombs, missiles, and guns, our everyday life, where there is distractions in homes, in the cities, where there's distractions in the villages, where there's distractions in towns, where there's no electricities, where there's no heat, where there's no water, are safe to drink. We wish them that these wars that are in these places, in these countries, to end quickly in this new coming year. In this new coming year, may there be a peace resolution being found immediately. May those people who are affected by the outcomes of the war and outcomes of all these distractions of the war be quickly recovered. May the cities like Kiev and cities in the Ukraine, other cities, as well as is also in the Syria and Libya and all of the other parts of the world where there is a lot of distractions, be quickly recovered from the war-torn distractions, and may there be infrastructures, as well as also may there be a great prosperity, and may there be a peace, may there be citizens of the country at ease and in a much different psychological and emotional and economically to have the peace that they all once enjoyed in those cities, like a year or 2 years ahead, 2 years before the wars have started, or 10 years, or 15 years in Syria and Libya, the towns and the cities were bustling with the cafes and the people drinking leisurely their beverages and eating lunches and dinners, kids playing outside in the squares, and citizens walking with the ease and leisure, elderly watching the young ones romance on the street. What once they enjoyed, what once was their experience, may very quickly be returned to that kind of a life of peace and life of bliss and life of leisure and life of prosperity. May the citizens, however they are engaged in the war right now, the aggressor or who's been aggressed, both in the deeper level want peace, deeper level wishes that there is no conflict, at least in the minds of the people themselves, the citizens themselves. May their wishes for what they want, may their wishes for what their family wants, may their wishes for their children to be able to go back to school and get their educations and grow up in a sense of deep peace and deep prosperity of their own individual families, economic as well as also the country itself. No mothers and fathers, however patriotic they are, would want to send their children to war zones and be in danger of their lives. May therefore all mothers' wishes, all fathers' wishes for their children who are in the military to be able to return home safe with their families and with their parents and have the peace that once they enjoyed. May in this way, when we make an aspirations for peace in the world, may the peace be concrete in these places, in these countries, not abstract. May the peace be there as once there was a peace in these places. There was a prosperity. There was a great amount of harmony once, not that long ago, not that long distant in past. May those return, and even return much more so than even before, with more stability, more support, more security, more balance of power, and so on. There are so many also countries in Africa right now that are suffering immensely with the imbalance of power and lack of governance, lack of law and order. May those countries do have a balance of power with the citizens and the people who are in the structure of the governance of the citizens. May the people who are in the leadership, may people who are in the governance of the citizens of that country find a deep moral, deep sense of understanding of the need of the citizens, understand that their own individual benefits are going to not, in the end, be that great of a benefit in the long run. So they may serve with altruism. May they really serve with a deep heart of meeting the needs of the citizens. May they rise to the status of a noble beings, noble man, noble woman, noble generals, noble leaders of their own countries. May therefore, whatever the sort of like a corruptions that there is, whatever the abuse that there is, whatever the resource that is being used, while there is a lot of resources for the individual use alone, be able to strictly be benefit of the country and the citizens of the country and the prosperity of the country and the citizens' lives. May therefore there is no imbalance where there is a lot of imbalances. May therefore there is good governance where there is no good governance. Where there is no law and order, may there comes to be a law and order. May neighbor countries of each other be able to really see the prosperity of a whole Africa is a prosperity of oneself and prosperity of your country. May they work in harmony, and may they work in a great sense of comradeship. May they work with a great sense of brotherhood and sisterhood of Africa continent. Where there's a drought, where there's a lot of drought right now, and shortage of the food, may the world come to add to them. May soon there be a rain, may there soon be crops in abundance. May soon people who are struggling to feed their families and their children have abundance of food on their own with the timely rain. May also the world recognizes how we are all citizens of this world, this one planet, this one Mother Earth, and therefore come to rise where there is a shortage of food, to be able to provide the food where there is a lot of abundance and extra, to share the abundance and the extra today where there is no food and the shortage of the food, and a lot of children are dying in the different continents of Africa with a shortage of food, with the malnourishment. May economic progresses in those countries be swiftly come to materialize. May their independence of economic power to live on their own resources, and may all the infrastructures of such be in place. Then there is a lot of refugees. There's so many refugees from so many countries that are homeless. There's millions of refugees gathered in the refugee camps. May they are able to return to their own homes or the country that they wish to immigrate and then find new life and new prosperity. May they are all able to either go back to their own country with security and peace and prosperity, or may they are able to immigrate to the country that they wish to. May the refugee crisis and all the abuse that takes place and all the corruption that takes place, all of the kind of like mistreatments of the human trafficking and all of the other things that happens, may they come to cease right away in this year. May they be able to really find a dignity to live in their own country with the prosperity and peace and the good health and good economic progress, or they are able to live in the other countries or any of the countries that they wish to live and be happy with their family and have a future, a new future. May, closely speaking, in America, may there be a good prosperity as well. May some of this trillion dollars that has been sanctioned by the Congress for the different various purposes and various noble cause be not wasted, not go into a waste in the bureaucracy and in any way where it is not intended. May all of that trillions of dollars that is being sanctioned go to where it is aimed. May therefore all of what is being aimed at to make this country better, environment better, infrastructure better, and job situations being improved, inflation's down, and all of those, may they be able to truly hit the target. May they be not a dollar wasted, not one person misuses the means that is to be a benefit of this country. And therefore may the inflations come down, may the economic progress continues, may the America's role in the world to be a benefactor of any positive kind that is been there or that is to be there continues. May in therefore the democracy, a government of elected leaders, elected Congress, and elected people on the office be inspirational to many who don't have that kind of an infrastructure. Is it going or not going? Oh. May then there comes to be a more of where there is no individual freedoms, where there is no individual freedom-based peace and prosperity, be there in abundance. So in all of this, what we generally hear in the news for a whole year, that seems, that sounds so horrible, that brings tears to your eyes, that makes your heart wrench upon hearing the news as what's going on in the world. There has to be a solution. Sorry about that. So every single day we hear so many things what makes your heart wrench and brings tears to your eyes, of thinking of the people, human beings like oneself, how much they are suffering in the world, different parts of the world, different parts of the same world, same earth, same planet as we are living. There has to be a solution. The news agencies and news cannot be only bad, and bad with no solutions or no remedies. It's not like I know what the remedy is, or no, any one of us here knows what the remedy is. But there's no problem in the whole world that has no remedy. There has to be a remedy. And since we believe that there is a remedy for samsara, samsara as a whole, one can be free from the samsara, a deep and long term, as in countless of kalpas, what once we suffer as an sentient with the ignorant mind, ultimately we can all, as we have a potential to be enlightened, we can be free from the samsara, and we can be free from ignorance, and we can overcome our own suffering. So all of the sufferings that our own brothers and sisters on this planet are enduring, there has to be a solution. There has to be a remedy. And I'm a firmly believer of that. And since there is, so then there is a hope. Since there is a hope, then we can make prayers. And we can deeply supplicate to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and so as also all of the higher powers, from all of the different religions, what they believe is the higher power, to come to the aid of the human beings here. And may human beings who are intelligent, who are greatly different than ourselves in the intelligence, in finding solutions, and trained and educated to find solutions, and knows how to find any solutions. For example, the climate, the global warming. If somebody asks what one should do, I would have no much of an idea, other than just a few things I'm taught, as to not use plastic so excessively, or something like that. But that is also being taught to me, or not to use so excessively their petroleum or something like that. But that is also being taught. But there are people who know how the climate, something big as a climate, that is changing and that is getting warmer and warmer, and that is actually causing a lot of disturbance in the weather, and that is making a lot of people suffer in the different regions of the seashores and different places where there is effects of global warming is also self-evident. But the people who are trained and educated and who know what to do, they have solutions. They have understanding how it could be reversed, how it could be changed for the better. So may those people come to be empowered. May those people come to have a weight. May those people come to be honored by the mass. May those people who can make changes for the better and make a difference in so many countless of others' life to be improved, may they be deeply appreciated. May they be deeply solicited in all parts of the world, in all governments, in all countries, in all communities, and in all aspects of what they can truly bring the change that is of a positive, so that we are not only hearing the what's unflexible, unsurpassable problems in the world, that the problems as they come, that they are as well being overcome as well. And thus the citizens of the world are free of the pain and the suffering that is caused by the various problems that we hear over and over, over and over, over and over. So that's the job that I see as myself, to make prayers. And make prayers as sincere as possible. Make prayers as if, even if I'm not in the war-torn countries, even I'm not directly affected with no electricity, no heat, no drinking water, as if I am among them, as what they wish for their lives to turn over to the positive side, for the peace and the prosperity, and return to their normal life or better, what they feel in their hearts, what they wish in their minds. Like them, may I am able to also make the prayers as if I'm one of them. So in that way, the news broadcasting and the news that we hear from BBC or CNN or NPR or any other Al Jazeera and any other news that sort of goes to these countries and finds facts and reports to us doesn't just make us feel more further scared, more further fearful, more further wanting to insulate ourselves and isolate ourselves in some kind of a bubble, but rather feel connected and feel compassion as if we are one of them, as if we are there, as if we are going through the same experience as what they are going through. Doesn't matter. It is across the globe with the ocean and the continent in between. Doesn't matter whether it is not your country. Doesn't matter whether it doesn't belong to your race, your religion, your culture. Your keen, they are being human beings is good enough. They are in the same home as we call this planet our home. They are in the same planet home as this planet is a home to us, it is a home to them. So in that way, we feel more courageously to feel deeply motivated to do something. If you could be generous, be generous. There's many ways to be generous to the refugee world. In Instagrams, it comes up. There's many generous ways that you could donate to the crisis of food shortage in Africa. There's many generous ways to help the citizens of the Ukraine who are suffering. Or Rwanda refugees in Bangladesh. Be generous. If you cannot be generous because your own economic situation is not as stable and as good as you want, at least make prayers on behalf of them. So each time when we hear crisis and the suffering of a human being, another human being in global world of our own planet, let that make us be moved rather than become more fearful of our own self and our own future. May the people who are in know, can do something, and are doing. So many people are doing so much good in the world. Like people are trying to change the course of the planet and the environment and the global warming to kind of like be reduced. So many scientists, so many environmentalists, so many leaders who truly believe in this. Not just as a campaign for their political uprise and position that they want to seek to join cause, but who really do believe in such crisis being the greatest crisis that humanity faces now, and want to do something and are doing. Many spiritual leaders also, such as His Holiness Dalai Lama, and so on. So as also many people are working to find peace in the world. Many social workers are helping the crisis, the refugee crisis, the war-torn people who are suffering in their own countries or in the refugee camps as they have left their own countries, who are helping them. May they have good support from all of us, all the rest of us, who are not there doing what they do. But at least join in the spirit so that they feel that they are not alone. So that they feel they are supported back home by us. And our prayers, our good wishes in their success. And then may they have also a long life and good health, especially a good health. Those people who work in the front lines of a refugee crisis with the social work and as a social worker, if they don't have a good health, one person not have a good health can become an immense loss for those refugees. Immense damage could be done that is being otherwise prevented by the social workers, helped by the social workers. So if you want to make a prayer for somebody to live long, it doesn't have to be you alone. How long I can live, how long I can have a long life and health, good health. You could make a wish for those who are much far greater able, can do, can make a difference in the world to live long, to really have a good health. And this is a much better way of spending your prayers than the prayers being all about you, all about yourself, what you can do, you alone can do, as if you alone, if you do something, makes a difference, because you come into the lamplight. But if it is others who are doing exactly the same as what you wish to do, or can do 1,000 times better than what you can do, then it's since others not have so much of a curiosity or support, or extend your any kind of warm wishes to them, makes this world so poorly with the individualistic and with so much sense of focus on oneself alone, with the self-attachments and self-importance. May this be a year for all of us to really open our eyes and open our hearts and make prayers on behalf of others so that we don't feel insulated, need to insulate, need to isolate, need to shut down and live in some kind of a bubble where your life and how your comfort, your alone situation, how you could actually make it better, being not the focus of your life, but rather like a team player, a one person in the team of a soccer or any sports cannot be thinking about what you can do, but what as a whole of the team can do to win. And if one person, however good or however not so good, works in the team in that way, in the end when the team wins the game, like the Argentina team has won, despite the best player of the world being the French man, this is the spirit of the Bodhisattva. The spirit of the Bodhisattva is not what you can do, but what you, alone with all others who are in the same mindset, to think for the better of the world, can do to make great difference in the lives of others, and make prayers for all who are engaged in that way to have a great success. And then seemingly in that way it works, because as your intention is that way, life and the benefits of that nature also comes to be that way. So that is my thoughts on the resolution of this year 2023. Thank you all very much. By this merit may I obtain omniscience, may I defeat enemy wrongdoing, from the stormy wave of birth, old age, sickness and death, from the ocean of samsara, may I free all beings, emulating hero, Manjushri, Samantabhadra, and all those with knowledge. I too make a perfect dedication of all actions that are positive, may Manjushri, Samantabhadra, and all those with knowledge. I too make a perfect dedication of all actions that are positive, emanating hero, Manjushri, Samantabhadra, and all those with knowledge. I too make a perfect dedication of all actions that are positive. May Bodhisattva, precious and sublime, arise where it has not yet come to be, and where it has arisen may it never fail, but grow and flourish ever more and more. May Bodhisattva, precious and sublime, arise where it has not yet come to be, where it has arisen may it never fail, but grow and flourish ever more and more. Arise where it has not yet come to be, where it has arisen may it never fail, but grow and flourish ever more